Bismillahi walhamdulillahi assalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, my dear brothers. Today inshallah we will start a new surah, Surah Al-Hajj, and we will try our best to cover from ayah number 1 until 24. Before we start the surah, just very few quick introductory points about the surah. Number one, it is said to be revealed in Medina, and it has total of 78 ayahs. And some of the scholars also said that part of it, which is from ayah number 1 until 25, may have also been revealed between Makkah and Medina. So Al-Hajj means the pilgrimage. This is the big event that happens annually. It is one of the fundamentals of Islam, in which Muslims from around the world, they come to the holy central place of Muslims, which is the Kaaba in Makkah Mukarramah, and they perform the pilgrimage. So we will find it out in ayah number 27, and basically the discussion will start even from ayah number 24 about pilgrimage. So we will get to study about it. Then the context, it's revealed in Medina, while some part between Makkah and Medina, as I mentioned earlier. When we start the surah, the main topic is the hour of the doom, which is also the judgment day, the predecessor to the judgment day, sorry, and the resurrection of the human beings, all of the human beings who are already dead, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring back to life, and there are examples that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will share with us. The divine law granting equal rights to all believers in Masjid al-Haram, because earlier the Muslims were stopped to enter Masjid al-Haram. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will address that as well, and it's especially addressed to the chiefs of Makkah and the disbelievers. The first commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granting permission to the believers to defend themselves. We all know during Makkah, all the Muslims, while they were facing all the oppression from the chiefs of Makkah and pagans and all the people who were oppressing Muslims, they were told to hold back and be patient and not to attack anyone. So from this point forward, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the Muslims the permission to defend themselves and against the disbelievers in order to hold the flag of Islam high. And then finally, Allah's promise to those who migrate for His sake, and that they will be rewarded generously from Him. So let's start today's lesson. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ya ayyuhan nasu taqu rabbakum. O mankind, fear your Lord. Fear your Lord, fear your Lord, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna zalzalata sa'ati shay'un azim. Indeed, the convulsion or the happening of the hour is a great thing. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will establish the hour, when this entire creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will come to a halt and the day of judgment will be held. So this will be a great thing. It will be a big thing, not an easy thing for people who will be there, who will be witnessing it. So here I want to emphasize on the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, have taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because this is the only thing that will help people on that great day. Now, what is the meaning of taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We also read about it in Surah Tawbah, ayah number 19 before. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha wa kunu mas sadiqeen. O you who have believed, have taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be with those who are true, who are on the right path. So, who will explain to me the meaning of taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What does that mean? Anyone? Yes, Aziz, go ahead.
I think taqwa means like being conscious of God and being conscious that Allah's watching you. Everything good and bad that you do, Allah's watching you. And then having that fear of Allah that He's watching you so you won't do a bad deed.
Jazakallah, Aziz. Thank you. Yes, this is the answer. And so you have to have that consciousness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching us. And when you have that consciousness, what should be the feeling? So taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also about that love that we have for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the fear that we have. When you love someone, you are fearful out of love that you don't want to offend them. And of course, as Aziz mentioned earlier, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching us. So we are conscious and we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching us. So how can we develop that love and then fear that we don't want to offend Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we should do everything that is halal and abstain or stop ourselves from doing everything that is haram or something that is disliked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then at the end, we have the hope of earning reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not get punishment on the day of judgment. Which is why the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, having taqwa is very important. And Jazakallahu khairan, Aziz, as you mentioned, that it's about consciousness. How will you fear, or why would you fear? Your consciousness of knowing that yes, I am being watched will make you careful, and when you are careful, then you don't want to do something that offends someone whom you love. And if we develop that love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and this fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we can have a hope of a great reward, inshallah, on the day of judgment, as well as saving ourselves from the punishment and hellfire. Now, this life is a test. So when will we get the result of this test of life? Who will tell me? When do you think? When is the... Yes, Abdullah. Sorry, I thought there is a hand raised. Aziz, is that from the previous question or now? Your hand is raised again.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
The test is life, and then the result is whether you go to Jannah, Jahannam, and actually no, the result is on the day of judgment, and then the consequences of the result is the afterlife.
Excellent. Jazakallah khairan, Aziz. You're right. The life is a test. The result will be on the day of judgment. So we have to be ready on the day of judgment. And the happening of the hour, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, is the great thing. At that point in time will be up. So when the day of judgment comes, time will be up. And for us, we have discussed it multiple times. With our death, once we die, time is up. So now no more action. Now you cannot say, let me go back and correct my deeds. By the way, people will be thinking, and we have read this again previously in the previous lessons as well, that people will be regretting their life. They would want to go back and correct their life. So once the happening of the hour happens, time will be up, and that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying is a great thing. So the action coming from this ayah and this entire discussion, if we were to sum up for ourselves, is we need to have taqwa, which is love and fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We need to be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He is watching. For that, we need to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order to be successful on the day of judgment and save ourselves from punishment and hope for a great reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this was the first ayah of the surah, and it was so important. And I hope you guys got the lesson and the key action for ourselves as well. Be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's always watching us. Always follow always make sure that you're doing the halal things and moving away from the haram things, not to offend Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Moving forward. يَوْمَ تَرَوْنَهَا تَذْهَلُ كُلُّ مُرْضِيَةٍ أَمَّا أَرْضَعَتْ وَتَضَعُ كُلُّ ذَاتِ حَمَلٍ حَمْلَهَا وَتَرَى النَّاسَ سُكَارَى وَمَا هُمْ بِسُكَارَى وَلَكِنَّ عَذَابَ اللَّهِ شَدِيدٌ. What will happen on the day of judgment? Why is it a great thing? What different phenomena will happen? What will be what's the impact on it, on those people who will witness it? The day you will see it, the nursing mother, a mother who's nursing her child, feeding her small baby, she will forget that which she was nursing. So she will forget her baby. Mothers will drop their babies and will deliver every pregnant moment her load, and you will see the mankind. So the females who will be pregnant, their pregnancy will get dropped. So this is an anomaly, right? It doesn't happen normally that the pregnancy goes wrong. I mean, majority of the kids and the pregnancies and the baby development happens seamlessly, but some of them. But Allah SWT is saying on that day, all pregnancies will be dropped. This is an abnormal thing for a mother to, when is she feeding her child? When the child is crying, that's the moment she's feeding. She cannot leave her child, right? In normal circumstances. On the day of judgment, everyone will be fearing for themselves, which is why even a nursing mother will forget her baby. The pregnant woman who will be pregnant, their pregnancies will be dropped. And you will see the mankind as if they are intoxicated, as if they have, they are under an influence of anything. Like, when you're taking alcohol or when you're taking drugs, you feel like intoxicated, you're not in your senses. while not they are not intoxicated, but the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be fear. It will be the fear on the day of judgment, when the hour will be established on the day of Qiyamah. That fear will make people look like as if, they are almost intoxicated. They don't know what to do. Everyone will be worrying about themselves. When a mother leaves the child that she is nursing, her small baby, that's a big thing, because this is something that obviously mothers can realize and they can relate with, that it can never be that they have a hungry baby or a small baby that is crying, her own baby, and they leave it. But that will be the tension of that hour, and everyone will be worried about themselves that this will happen. So which is why in the previous ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that it will be a great thing. It is something that no one would have ever witnessed, and everyone will feel like they are intoxicated and out of their senses. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَن يُجَادِلُ فِي اللَّهِ بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ وَيَتَّبِعُ كُلَّ شَيْطَانٍ مَرِيدٍ. And among the mankind is he who disputes concerning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without knowledge and follows every rebellious devil, all shayateen. So there are people in the mankind who are just having discussions about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without even thinking, without having knowledge. They're just disputing, no, there is no Allah. I haven't seen God. Have you seen God? All of these things. And these discussions were not just valid for the time of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he's trying to preach Islam and the chiefs of Makkah and the pagans are opposing him. It's not just for that during that period. It has been happening since the start, since the prophets have come. And we learned this in the previous surah, Surah Anbiya, that a lot of prophets, everyone saved the same, faced the same opposition from those people who did not believe in them. So you were saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there and all of these things, and we should believe in one God, and they were opposing. So these disputes have been happening since the start of times, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala initially sent the messengers and the prophets to warn the mankind. The Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also faced them. And even today, a lot of discussion is happening, if there is God, if there is no God, and all of that. And even amongst Muslims, people are not truly believing. Yes, we are born Muslims, but we have to ask ourselves, are we the true believers? Do we have these disputes inside our hearts? Have we clarified them? So without knowledge, there are certain people who are having these disputes, and they are following all rebellious shayateen, devils, because they're just blindly following them. They have put curtains on their eyes. They are not able to see the truth. كُتِبَ عَلَيْهِ أَنَّهُ مَنْ تَوَلَّاهُ فَأَنَّهُ يُذِلُّهُ وَيَهْدِيهِ إِلَىٰ عَذَابِ السَّعِيرِ. It has been decreed for him that he who befriends him, befriends who? Shaitan. So who becomes a shaitan? Shaitan's friend. It has been decreed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written for them, that indeed we will misguide him and will guide him to the punishment of the blaze. This is a very important statement here. First, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if someone becomes friends of shaitan, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala misguides them. We should not say, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has misguided me, so what can I do? Yes, I have, I'm doing haram things because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala misguided me. No. First, the person takes the first step. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this control. We should be clear on this. We have been sent in this life to check if we will do the right thing or the wrong thing. When we choose the wrong path and when we follow shaitan, it is our choice. Once we start doing it, that is made easy for us. And this is what it means, that then indeed he will misguide the shaitan, whoever you have been following, and whoever you become friends will misguide you. And by the way, shayateen can be in all forms. They can be, and we'll discuss them in the later ayah as well. And will guide him to the punishment of the blaze. So they will take him to the punishment of the blaze. And this is what shaitan said even to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when Adam alayhi salam was created, that I will stand on the path, the right path, to misguide people so that they can all go to hellfire. Is there a point, Mohsin? You have unmuted. Any question? Okay. All right. So moving forward, do we have shaitan around us to misguide? What does the shayateen want us to do? Who will answer these questions? Anything that comes to your mind. Just unmute yourself and answer. Yes?
Shaitan wants us in.
Sorry, shaitan wants what? Can you please repeat yourself? The voice got broken. Apologies, I'm not able to listen to you. Maybe
yes, sir. I'm here to answer.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, Shaitan is not around us, even it is in our blood, circling in our veins, and yes, they misguided us by from our left, from our right, from our front, from our back, from every side. They misguide us.
Jazakallah khairan. Thank you so much, Jamshed. This is a brilliant answer, and you're right. It's not like so shaitan will come from all directions, and we have seen this in the previous ayahs and the previous surahs that we've studied, even in Surah Al-Baqarah as well, that shaitan comes in all directions and just trying to misguide us. Okay, are there any examples that you can think about in today's world? How is shaitan surrounding us? What comes to your mind? So it's not like, okay, fine, now after we finish this lesson, we'll go out and we will face shaitan. And he will say, hello, hi, I am shaitan and I'm here to misguide you. It doesn't happen this way, right? So what are some of the ways that it happens in today's world? Who will tell me? How do you think shaitan in today's world comes? Yes, Abdullah, you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the biggest fitna I think in today's world is the mobile phone. Like we can, it is our choice. Like we can see the positive things and the negative things. So so nowadays it's with everyone, and it's very easy to fall into this trap. So maybe that.
You meant mobile phone, right? Mobile phone, you mean the information and internet and access?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, the mobile device.
Jazakallah khairan, Abdullah, and you're right. There are lots of things on this device, mobile phone, that we keep close to us, and we are always, I mean, whenever we are up, we are looking at it multiple times. There is social media, and shaitan is attacking us in different, I mean, even if you don't seek it, shameful things can come in front of you. If you are, I mean, the females, their images, their videos, some things get thrown at us, even if you don't seek out. Even if you want your feed, for example, to just to be related to science topics, or you're interested in technology or IT or any other thing, math, whatever, and if you scroll down your feed, there are lots of things that comes to you that you don't want to see, right? As a Muslim, and you wouldn't want to. And I have another answer on the chat that social media is also misguiding us. This is correct, Jazakallah khairan, and you're right. Because on social media, it's about misinformation. Most of it, you don't know the reality. And in social media, there are different ways it misguides you. Because people are not what they are truly in front. The information is not what may be the reality. There are things that get thrown at you that you should not be watching. There is shameful stuff that gets shared. There are jokes falling around that should not be on very serious topics. So there are multiple ways that shaitan is following us, and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the previous ayah, that they will make sure that they misguide us towards the hellfire. And I think we have discussed this already. Jazakumullahu khairan to all the people who contributed. Shaitan is sitting on the right path to lead people astray, and they discourage people on the wrong path to seek forgiveness of Allah SWT. This is another important point I wanted to mention. So yes, if you are going towards the right path, they would want to make you stray. Why are you doing this? No one else does it. You know, why are, you know, you don't have to pray 5 times in the mosque. You can just pray right now and, you know, just be here. Or, you know, just continue getting this interest or this mortgage and until you have built your house, or, you know, first pay, get this loan and get a car, even if there's little interest. By the way, it's only, you know, 0.5%, whatever. So shaitan will keep on and coming to misguide you. But the important thing is, when you are on the wrong path, for example, if you are in the habit of watching shameful content or some movies or content that you're not supposed to watch, it will keep, so shaitan will tell you, you're such a bad person. By the way, why are you going to pray? You just watch something really bad and you think you're not even how can you go in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and present yourself? You are such a bad person. This is another thing. So in order to keep you on the wrong path and keep you rolling there, he will tell you, you cannot seek forgiveness, because this was the way of shaitan. He became arrogant. He did not ask for forgiveness. However, the sunnah of Adam alayhi salam is, when he made a mistake, When Adam alayhi salam made a mistake, he immediately sought forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught him a prayer and he prayed and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave him. This should be our way. Even if we are doing something wrong, even something shameful happens, even if we lied, even if we deceived someone, even if we did corruption, even if we took a bribe, there is always time until our death, before our death, when we have to go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask for forgiveness. And do we know our time of death? We cannot say, okay, so I'll correct my way once I'm 50, 60, 70. No, we can die right now after this, like in the next hour, in the next minute, or we don't know in the next 20 years. So we have to correct ourselves today. Defy shaitan. Which is why we have 5 times prayer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has built this system of 5 times prayer so that we go back to him and seek forgiveness from him. So even if you make a mistake, keep on going back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness. The main ploy of shaitan is to tell you, you're such a bad person. You haven't prayed since the past 6 months. Why are you even bothering now? No, you have to defy shaitan regardless of if you are in the right path or the wrong path. Yes, there's another comment in chat. If we really repent our sins, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive us, which is correct. Jazakallahu khairan. Yes. So if we seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, definitely, I mean, we have hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives us, but our intention should be pure. You cannot plan your guna. You cannot say, okay, so what can I do is I can watch this thing and after this, I will immediately go and pray and ask for, no, don't do such stuff. So it's not like, you can plan your guna. So once something happens that you really regret and you didn't want to do and you went out of control, then you go and you go back and you ask for forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. Excellent. So yes, and shayateen want us to ignore the guidance and follow our worldly desires only, regardless if it is haram or halal way we have done. How can we save ourselves? So what's the one tip that we can take? What's that one action that we can take to save ourselves from all the shayateen that are surrounding us? We have to apply the guidance filter. What is the guidance filter? We have discussed it multiple times. If something or someone will get you close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Islam or away. So let's say if you're watching a video, is it a source of getting you closer to Allah or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or away? By the way, you can always, use internet, use technology, use information to build your skills. I'm sure most of you are young, you are either teenagers or slightly older. This is a very important point of your life. You have to build yourself, you have to build your skills, you have to build yourself professionally. You have to build yourself from a religious angle, get all this understanding and knowledge, and then implement in your life. So you will have to seek out the internet and and other means that are available, right? So, but when you seek out anything, you have to always apply the guidance filter. Is a friend getting you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or away? Is a video or a movie getting you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Islam or away? Is it something productive and positive, or is it something negative that can throw you into the negative path? So always apply this guidance filter. And yes, there can be neutral stuff. There can be some skill that you're learning in the world, which is okay. But it should not be something that is, taking you towards a haram thing. So this is the guidance filter that you have to apply every time in every decision across your parts of life. I hope this point is clear. Any question on this concept that we just discussed as an action for ourselves? Okay, clear. Moving forward. Sorry, Abdullah, you had a comment?
No, sir, I was just going to say that there's no any confusion.
Excellent. Jazakallahu khairan. Let's move forward. Ya ayuhan nasu in kuntum fi raybin minal ba'si fa inna khalaqnakum min turabin thumma min nutfatin thumma min alaqatin thumma min muzghatin mukhallaqatin wa ghayri mukhallaqatin linubayyina lakum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is now showing us our existence and our true reality. O mankind, if you are in doubt about the resurrection, if you think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot resurrect us, cannot give us life again, once we die in our graves, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot bring us back, then indeed we created you from dust, then from a drop of semen, which is nutfa. This is the drop that comes out from the male. during the reproductive process. Summa min alaqatim, then from a clinging substance, then from an embryonic lump. So this is the production of the baby. It starts with a drop of semen, then it becomes like a clinging substance that's called alaqa. Then it becomes an embryonic lump, so it becomes slightly bigger, formed and unformed, that we make clear to you. So this is the information Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a revelation at a time when there is no technology to confirm all of this. So what happens to the semen once it enters inside the female body? How does it form? The first step, the second step. But do we know this today? Yes, we know this today, right? Today science has advanced to a level where it is confirming this scientific fact. And this will happen and continue to happen until the day of Qiyamah, that science will continue to upgrade itself, and we will continue to learn, and information will get revealed to us as and when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us, right? So, but the facts stated in Quran, they will never be refuted by science. Science will always confirm what is mentioned in Quran. If something is not logically proven today, that is a lack of science. That doesn't mean a lack of logic of any fact that is mentioned in Quran. And this is proven in history, that everything that is mentioned in the Quran gets proven by science. So this development, fecal development, the development of the baby is clearly showing us another proven scientific fact of Quran. So وَنُقِرُّ فِي الْأَرْحَامِ مَا نَشَاءُ إِلَىٰ أَجَلٍ مُسَمًّى ثُمَّ نُخْرِجُكُمْ طفلا ثم لتبلغوا أشدكم. So and we cause to remain in the wombs that we will for a term appointed. So we all know that the baby usually stays within a mother in her belly for 9 months, and then appointed, and then we bring you out as a child. Then that you may reach your maturity, and that's how the child is born and raised. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala subhanallah defined the entire development of baby, and he revealed it to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that now science is confirming. وَمِنْكُمْ مَنْ يُتَوَفَّى وَمِنْكُمْ مَنْ يُرَدُّ إِلَىٰ أَرْذَلِ الْعُمْرِ لِكَيْ لَا يَعْلَمَ مِنْ بَعْدِ عِلْمٍ شَيْئًا. And among you is he who dies, and among you is he who is returned to the most abject age, to the old age, so that not he knows after having known anything. Now, some of us reach certain age, some of us die early, some of the babies die, and there are various ages of people. And this is again a sign, and this is again determined by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the time of death of everyone. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing us our reality, how we were born out of a drop of semen, and how we change forms, then how were we finally born, and then how we don't even have control on the lifespan that we have. Yet we say we don't believe in the day of judgment. Yet we say, how will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring us back to life? So this is a reality that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making us realize, that these are signs for you to watch and take heed from and take lesson from. وَتَرَى الْأَرْضَ حَامِدَةً فَإِذَا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْهَا الْمَاءَ مَا اهْتَزَّتْ وَرَبَتْ وَأَنْبَتَتْ مِنْ كُلِّ زَوْجٍ بَهِيجٍ. And you see the earth barren, and when we send down on it water, it gets stirred and it swells and grows of every beautiful kind. Again, a fact and a reality of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives life in this world. Rainfall happens, dead soil, plants emerge, beautiful gardens. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes life emerge from the dead sand. These are all signs, guys, in front of us. Related to this ayah, there is a very important hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam quoted in Sahih al-Bukhari. Narrated Abdullah radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu, Allah's Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the true and truly inspired, said, As regards your creation, every one of you is collected in the womb of his mother for the first 40 days. Then he becomes a clot for another 40 days. And then a piece of flesh for another 40 days. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends an angel to write 4 words. He writes his deeds, time of his death, means of his livelihood, how he will earn, and whether he will be wretched or blessed in the hereafter. Then the soul is breathed into his body, so a man may do deeds characteristic of the people of the hellfire, so much that there is only the distance of a cubit, very short distance between him and entering hellfire. Then what has been written by the angel surpasses. And so he starts doing good deeds, characteristics of people of paradise, and enter paradise. Similarly, a person may do deeds, characteristics of a people of paradise throughout his life, so much that there is only a distance of a cubit between him and paradise. And then what has been written by the angel surpasses, and he starts doing deeds of the people of the hellfire and enters the hellfire. We should pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us guided, to keep us on the right path, to enable us to reach, to be successful on the day of judgment, to give us guidance. And then we should try and be a better Muslim every day. Because as this hadith is mentioning, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already decreed at the time of the baby is born, these 3-4 things are already determined for the baby. And it's not like, so one can think, okay, so if everything is determined, then what's my role? Then how am I in control? No, it's not like, so we do have control, which is why we are facing a test. In a test, you have 2 options, right answer, wrong answer, right? So we do have control in order to choose and take the first step, as we went through in the previous ayah, that they are the ones who follow the shayateen, and then those shayateen misguide them and they enter into hellfire. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this control. But because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the absolute knowledge, so he knows what option we will choose. What option will I choose in my life? What are the choices that I will make? He knows, which is why he already wrote it down. It's very easy for him. He knows the past, he knows the present, he knows the future. He's the one who has created everything. He's the one who has created time. He's the one who has created day of judgment. He knows already what will happen on the day of judgment. But I do have the control of making the decision. So I am in control of making the decision. Yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already knows what decision I will make, which is why it is written down. We should not think, and some people start thinking, and this is also a tricky topic of qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you know, we have been asked not to get a lot into it. But the point is, yes, do we have control? We do have control, which is why we are in the test. But does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already know? Yes, he already knows, because he has the absolute knowledge. So if you understand this thing, then you will not get into the discussion of, oh, so it's already written, so you know, what is it that I can do? I'm doing bad things because it's already written. No, this is a very simplistic approach. We should not think like this. We have been told to try our best to do halal things, avoid haram things, and then continue to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guidance and to keep us steadfast on that guidance. I hope this point is clear. So how will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring us back to life once we die? Do we have any real life examples in front of us? Do we have any examples that we can see in this world where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will, is there anything that happens in front of us in the world that shows us, wow, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can really bring back life? We have just discussed them. Yes, Abdul Aziz, go ahead.
On the day of judgment, Allah will bring us back to life. And also, like, let's say Allah brings back like the earth to life, like when there's like in like the desert, when Allah makes it rain, then it becomes to life, and then Allah makes it die again by not giving it rain, and then it comes back to life when there comes rain again.
Jazakallahu khairan. Thank you so much, Aziz. The right answer. And yes, and there are multiple signs of life. We discussed it. Look at how, I mean, these are some of the things that I was trying to search on Google, how, you know, the seed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grows it into a plant and how it pushes forward. We know these tiny plants are so weak when they come out, yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them the strength to come out from the sand. When we are buried underground in our graves, it's very easy for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us rise back from the sand. Look at the plant on the right, how it's appearing. I mean, if we want to really imagine on the day of judgment, the picture on the right is clear for us. This is how people will be rising from their graves. And then some people say, but what happened to the person who got blown away with a bomb and, his body was bits and pieces here and there, and what will happen to him? How will he be raised from the... It's very easy for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to collect all the parts. We know the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam, how he was asked to cut birds in pieces and put them in different parts of the mountains. And when he called, they came together. There are such miracles. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's so easy for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring things back to life. There's a message in chat, even if a tree is cut off, the roots will come to life again. Yes, Jazakallah khairan. This is a fact of life, guys. We know this. If you cut off a tree, again, because of the roots, it sprouts up, right? So for us to believe how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring us back from our graves is, I mean, we have so many signs. Jamshed, you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yes, if any person in the world can make anything for the first time, then how it's possible that he can't make the same thing for the second time? It becomes very easy for him to make the same thing for twice. And another example, that we sleep almost every night, and the sleep is a half death, and we comes back almost every day, every night. So yes, there are many examples.
Jazakallah khairan, Jamshed. Brilliant answers. Thank you so much. You're right. So it's in front of us. We sleep every night. We have lost consciousness. We are almost half dead, and then we wake up. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wakes up. This happens every day with billions of people around the world. This fact alone should tell us that yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring us back to life. If you look at, there are multiple examples in the world. This is an example that we saw Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us, that you're just a drop of semen, and then you go into a woman's body, and then this is what happens, and then the entire child is born. This is a reality, by the way, that is now proven by science. It was revealed to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I don't know, many hundreds of years before. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us life, there's a message in chat. Indeed, Allah will give us second life. Nothing is impossible for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakumullahu khairan. Yes, you are right. All of you are right in your answers. There are multiple ways. If you just see the water cycle, how water falls, how first of all Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes the water evaporate from the sea, it gets clubbed in the clouds, and then it falls. When rain falls, we already discussed, plants come up and they come from dead soil. We are not the one. So the max what we can do is put seeds in the soil, put some water, and then pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are not the one who are pulling out the plants and everything, right? It's done by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the best explanation of science is, if you ask a person who's a non-believer, you ask them what this is, they will call it nature. So what's nature? Then there is no other answer, right? So for us, Alhamdulillah, we are Muslims. We believe all these facts, all these things have been revealed to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And now they are being proven by science. Even if they were not proven by science, just because they are in Quran, we will believe in them, right? But now, good thing is they're also proven by science, and they continue to get proven by science. As science matures, I'm sure most of the things they will catch up. But we also learned in the Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us knowledge as much as He wants. And which is why slowly and gradually the knowledge of humans is also increasing as much as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. Okay, moving forward. ذلك بأن الله هو الحق وأنه يحيي الموتى وأنه على كل شيء قدير. That is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the truth. He is al-haq, and that He gives life to the dead, and He is over everything, all powerful. So this is exactly what was mentioned in the chat that I just read. Jazakallahu khairan. I couldn't get the name. It says iPhone. So iPhone answered all of us in the class. But you were right. Jazakallahu khairan. Yes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is not impossible for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything is possible for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And here is exactly the ayah that is saying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the truth. He is al-haq, and He gives life to the dead, and He is over everything, all powerful. وَأَنَّ السَّاعَةَ آتِيَةٌ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهَا. And that the hour will come, there is no doubt about it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removed all doubt about it, that hour will come. وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ يَبْعَثُ مَنْ فِي الْقُبُورِ. And that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will resurrect those who are in the graves. We just saw the plant rising. If you want to imagine how people will rise from the graves, just keep that GIF in point. the one on the right where, it was the plant was emerging from the soil. That's how all of us will rise on the day of judgment. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَن يُجَادِلُ فِي اللَّهِ بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ وَلَا هُدًى وَلَا كِتَابٍ مُنِيرٍ. And among mankind is he who disputes concerning Allah without any knowledge and any guidance, and not an enlightening book. All of the people who are coming against Islam, who have been coming against Islam, who came in front of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah SWT is saying they have no knowledge of it and they don't have any guiding light. They're just making things up just to oppose. ثانية عطفه ليضل عن سبيل الله. Twisting his neck to mislead from the way of Allah SWT. Twisting his neck meaning being arrogant, out of pride. له في الدنيا خزي ونذيقه يوم القيامة عذاب الحريق. Twisting his neck to mislead from the way of Allah SWT, for him in the world is disgrace, and we will make him taste on the day of resurrection the punishment of the burning fire. Allahumma ajirni minan nar. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from hellfire. So here there is another hadith explaining this, narrated Abdullah bin Masud. This is from Sahih Muslim. Radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, Allah's Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, whoever has pride in his heart equal to the weight of an atom, and then later on the pride was defined as arrogance. So pride or being full of yourselves, whoever has pride in his heart equal to the weight of an atom, very small ant, shall not enter paradise. A person amongst the audience said, verily a person loves his dress should be beautiful and his shoes should be beautiful. So a person, one of the Sahabi, he asked, but then if we like wearing good clothes and if we like looking beautiful, then then what about that? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam remarked, verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most beautiful and he loves beauty. That's okay. Pride is to completely disregard the truth and to scorn to look down the people, to look down upon people. That's arrogance. To be arrogant and not to be humble. To think highly of yourself and to think lowly about others. This is arrogance, and this is the sort of pride that is being talked here. But if you like wearing good clothes, if you like eating good food, if you can enjoy your life in halal ways, that is allowed. But once you are doing that, don't look down upon people. If anything, you should help people. You should stay humble. So I hope this point is clear. The action clearly from this hadith and the previous ayah is never be arrogant. All khair good is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes we get these skills, and sometimes we get this education, and we get amazing jobs, and we get this wealth, and we get these positions, we get promotions in our jobs and all of this. Shaitan starts to put waswasa and whisper in our mind, you are something good, huh? Yeah, well done. I mean, look at those guys. They're so, look at the other people who were there in university, they're not, and all of this. And they put things in your mind just to make you arrogant and look at others as if they are lower than you. So this is one part of arrogance. Another part is also, even when you're doing good deeds. So first of all, let's say a person is arrogant and he's looking at, he's mistreating people, and he is, he's gone on the wrong path. That's one path. The other thing is, sometimes when you try to do the good deeds, Shaitan will come and say, wow, you're doing amazing, man. You're giving this charity, might as well let other people know, so that they say, so they also talk positively about you. You give so much charity, you help all the people and everything. Putting this in the mind to get the benefit in this world as well. So this again is a form of Shaitan, because as we discussed earlier, he's also sitting on the right path. So he's misguiding or asking people to stay on the wrong path and continue there, and they have no chance of coming back. Also, he's sitting on the right path. Whenever you do a good thing, these days, how many people you see taking selfies? This is maybe an exaggerated pic where a person is trying to give charity and also taking a selfie. But the point of this picture on the right is we should protect the ego of the person who's being helped. They also have their egos. You have to be humble. You have to be humble when you give them something. There's someone I recently met and I really got inspired from. They're doing a lot of charity, a lot of public service, a lot of volunteer work and everything. And that person, and they told me that whenever they're trying to help someone, even if they're giving a bag, they don't give a bag like this. They don't hold the bag from the top and give. They hold the bag like this. So the other person who's taking it can hold it from the handle and take. This is just such a small thing. but this act is showing you humbleness, because when you will give something to someone and when you have your both hands like this and the thing is on the top, let's say a bag or something, and when you present it like this is making you humble. Because if you hold the bag from the top and you are giving it, how will the other person receive? They will have to lower their hands and they will have to take it. So you have to turn around that situation. This is not just a small act. This is a mindset. This is a mindset that shifts us to say, yes, even the thing that I'm presenting to the other person is given to me by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How can I be arrogant? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave it to me and it was destined to reach this person. I am lucky, or I should be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he made me a wasila for that person and I was able to give them, and maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept this good deed for me for my own akhirah. There is nothing that I've done. That person would have already received that thing that I'm trying to give him. By the way, we should be clear in our heads. Whenever we are helping someone or whenever we are working on the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah's work will not stop. We do that in order to help our own akhirah. Be clear in your head and you will not get arrogant. It will keep you humble. Every time you are doing something good to a person, that person would have already received it despite of you. You should be clear. If you're trying to help someone and you're giving them food or you're giving them money or you're giving them whatever, or you're doing anything for anyone, be clear in your head that Allah's help would have reached them. You should be thankful that you were given that opportunity and you took that opportunity. So every time, and this also has an action that every time, you get any opportunity to help people, you should help people. So I hope both these points related to being arrogant are clear. Okay. The real successful person, I just have a message in chat. The real successful person is one who helps others as well and should not be arrogant and doesn't show off. Jazakallahu khairan. Okay, moving forward. ذَلِكَ بِمَا قَدَّمَتْ يَدَاكَ وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ لَيْسَ بِظَلَّامٍ لِلْعَبِيدِ. That is for what we have sent for your hands, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not unjust to his slaves. Everyone will be rewarded or punished according to their deeds and actions. So we have to send forth our actions. It's a test, right? You are going into a test. You're so careful in filling an exam. You write it nicely. You look and make it clean. You don't scribble it because you want the message to be clear so that your teacher understands and the examiner, they give you full marks and everything. This life is a test. All the deeds that you're doing, you have to do them with full honesty, with hope, and you have to make sure that you're passing them on. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, whatever gets passed on to the next life on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not be unjust. He is recording everything. He is the knower of our intentions, of our hearts as well. And because he has the absolute knowledge, so he will provide justice. And the people who deserve punishment will get that punishment, and those who deserve reward will get the reward. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not unjust to his slaves. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَرْفٍ. And among the mankind is he who worships Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the edge. So there are some people who are almost on the border between the right and the wrong path. They are all on the edge. What does that mean? فَإِنْ أَصَابَهُ خَيْرٌ خَيْرٌ نِطْمَأَنَّ بِهِ. And if befalls him good, he's content with it. So once everything is going well, he's content and he's following the path. وَإِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ فِتْنَةُ نِنْقَلَبَ عَلَى وَجْهِ. And if falls him in a trial or something negative happens to him, he turns on his face, meaning he just turns away. These people are on the edge of going on the wrong path. They just keep on following, yes, I'm doing all the good deeds and I'm following everything. Once a test happens and once an exam comes or a tough situation comes, they turn away from Islam. They turn away from the right path. So these are the people who are on the edge. خَسِرَ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. He has lost the world and the hereafter. So these people, despite whatever good deeds they did, on the first test, if they turn away, these are the people who have lost the world as well as the akhirah. ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْخُسْرَانُ الْمُبِينُ. That is the loss, which is a clear loss. So all of their deeds, the previous ones that they did, they will be washed away. So this is a clear loss. So we have to make sure we are not on the edge and we are clearly on the right path, and we continue to make choices in our life that keep us on the right path. And we have discussed this multiple times. When you are faced with a tough situation, and if you try to take the step The first step will be tough, but the next things will become easy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Moving forward, yad'u min dunillahi ma la yazurruhu wa ma la yanfa'u. He calls besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala what not harms him and what doesn't even benefit him. So people are calling different gods. In the time of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they're doing different sorts of idol worshipping and all sorts of fire worshipping, and even today it happens as well. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, why are you worshipping, or why have you created these false gods that cannot even harm you or not can benefit you? ذَلِكَ huwa zalalul ba'id. It is the straying far away. So when they are creating those false gods, they are going away far on the wrong path. They are straying away from the right path. By the way, even today, we don't need gods of stone. We don't need iron gods. We have gods in our own mind as well. Oh, someone powerful. Oh, someone who can help me. They will provide me job. They will provide me this, and I should talk to this person. That we can use the network. We can talk to people. These are this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided us. But our belief should be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the provider of rizq. Wallahu khairur raziqeen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will solve my problem. So first reach out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in prayer and ask him for help, and then see what network you want to utilize, what people you want to, ask and get things done. But the important thing is to have your strong connection, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the source of everything. We discussed this concept also in detail when we are discussing shirk, which is, having partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the concept of source and agent. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the source. Everything else in this world and the network are agents for us to help, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enables them to help us. I will just move a little bit faster now because we have lesser time left and we have ayahs to cover. Yad'u laman zarruhu aqrabu min naf'i. He calls one who his harm is closer than the benefit. So if you call other gods, their harm, they can harm you more than benefit. In fact, they have zero benefit, as we saw in the previous ayah. Labi'sal mawla wa labi'sal ashir. Surely an evil protector and surely an evil friend. So when you reach out to someone other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or a shaitan or a false god in your head, then it's a very bad protector. They cannot protect, or it's a very bad, a friend or someone who can, whom you can associate yourself with. Inna Allaha yudkhilul ladina amanu wa amilus salihati jannatin tajri min tahtiha al-anhar. Inna Allaha yaf'alu ma yurid. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will admit those who believe and do the righteous deeds to gardens. Underneath those gardens, there are rivers that are flowing. Inna Allaha yaf'alu ma yurid. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does what He intends. He has control over everything. So those people who do good things, they will be rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala include us amongst those people who enter Jannah. Ameen. Man kana yazunnu allan yansurahu Allahu fid dunya wal akhirati falyamdud bisababin ila as-sama'i thumma yaqta falyanzur hal yuzhibanna kayduhu ma yaghiz. Whoever thinks that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not help him in the world and the hereafter, then let him extend a rope to the sky and then let him cut off his life. Then let him see whether this plan will remove and what he brings forward as rage. So basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if they believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not the one who has created everything and who's the Lord of the world, then let them end their life. As soon as they will end their life, they will face the reality and the truth will be coming in front of them. So let them extend the rope and hang themselves and kill themselves, and then they will face the reality. They want the judgment to come fast. Your day of judgment starts once you die, because that's your time up. Your time is up when you die, because after that, no deeds can be done. So our day of judgment starts from the moment we die. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, so they don't believe and they want the day of judgment to come faster. Let them take their life and they will see the wrath and the rage that will follow after that, and what they will face and what the punishment that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. وَكَذَلِكَ أَنزَلْنَاهُ آيَاتٍ بَيِّنَاتٍ. And thus we sent it down as clear verses, as clear bayinat, as clear ayahs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing us all these signs. These are the signs from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for us to come on the right path. وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ يَهْدِي مَنْ يُرِيدُ. And that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides whom He intends, which is why we should also continue to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us guidance and keep us on this straight path, and keep us steadfast, because it's not easy to stay on guidance. You will face a lot of tough situations. You will face a lot of tough situations from people. Maybe your entire class will do something, all your friends will be doing something, but you have to again apply the guidance filter and see, is this activity, is this fun thing taking me closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or is it taking me away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? This is the test of life. Inna lazina amanu wal lazina hadu was sabiina wal nasara wal majusa wal lazina ashraku. Indeed, those who have believed and those who were Jews and Sabians and Christians, and the Majus are the ones who were worshipping the fire, and those who are polytheists, all types of people, believers or unbelievers. Inna Allah yafsilu bainahum yawm al-qiyamah. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will judge between them on the day of resurrection. On the day of judgment, everything will be clear. Everybody is being so intellectual these days, and even during the time of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were trying to ask questions from him, just trying to discredit him, and just trying to say, so you, what about that? Tell us about those. And if you are the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then give us this answer and that question. And they are having discussions among themselves. Even these days, today, amongst us, there are so many intellectuals on religion and discussing this and that, and atheists. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, on the day of judgment, everything will be clear. Judgment will be passed. You will get to know the reality. Inna Allah ala kulli shay'in shaheed. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is witness over everything. So everything that is being said, everything that is being done for Islam or against Islam, for the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, against the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is witnessing. The recording will be played back to all of us on the day of judgment. People will be rewarded or punished depending on what they did in their lives. Alam tara anna Allah yasjudu lahu man fis samawati wa man fil ardi wash-shamsu wal qamaru wan nujumu wal jibalu wash-shajaru wad dawabu wa kasirum minan nas. This is an ayatul sajda at the end of it. So after the class, please make sure that you guys are also making one sajda and prostrating. Do not you see that prostrates to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala whoever is in the heavens? So all his creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is prostrating, making sajda in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and whoever is in the earth and the sun and the moon and the stars and the mountains and the trees and all the moving creatures and many of the people. Why not all of the people? Because some of them say, we are arrogant, we don't believe. And this is the test of life. So the test of life was, message will come to you. You will be sent on earth. Message will come to you. Will you seek guidance? Will you follow what is halal, what is haram? And will you believe in one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Just to summarize it. Some of them will say, no, we don't believe, and they continue to, do whatever they want. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that people do believe as well. So all of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and out of that creation, ashraful makhluqat, the people who have been given choice, also some of the people from them, they also believe, and the rest of the creation believes. The rest who don't believe, we have already read and seen what will happen to them. Kasirun haqqa alayhil azab, but many is justly due on them the punishment. There are many people on whom punishment is due. Why justly due? Because of their own actions. So no one can say, I'm following the wrong path because, it has been written down and I don't have any control, and, I cannot control myself, and that's how it has been written for me. I'm a bad person. And no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying justly due on him the punishment, meaning you do have control, you do have choice. If whatever you have done in your life, go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ask for forgiveness and come on the right path. If you are involved in certain activities, zina, or watching shameful content, or any other sort of thing involved in interest, mortgage, all of these things, riba. So correct your life, come back, ask for forgiveness, and come on the right path. You have control. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made you, given you this decision-making power. But because we don't use that and we continue on the wrong path, so those people, for them who continue on the wrong path, the punishment will be justly due, and it will be given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَيْ يُهِنِ اللَّهُ فَمَا لَهُ مِن مُكْرِمٍ. Allah humiliates, then not for him any bestower of honor. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala humiliates someone, then no one else can give them honor. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala humiliates someone in the world, no one can protect him. On the hereafter, on the day of judgment, no one else can protect them. Inna Allah yaf'alu ma yasha. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does what he wills. No one will be able to stop, intercede, ask, and everything. Hadani khasmani tasamu fi rabbihim. These two opponents dispute concerning their Lord. فَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا قُطِّعَتْ لَهُمْ ثِيَابٌ مِّن نَّارٍ. But those who disbelieve will be cut out for them garments of fire. Yusabbu min fawqi ru'usihimul hamim, will be poured over their heads scalding hot water. Yusharu bihi ma fi butunihim wal julud. With that hot water, their bellies and their skins will be melted. Walahum maqa'i'u min hadid, and for them are hooked rods of iron. All of this is punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma ajinni minan nar. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from hellfire and his punishment. Allahumma inni as'alukal jannatul firdaus. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us enter Jannatul Firdaus. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Kullama aradu an yakhruju minha min ghammin u'idu fiha. Every time they want to come out from it, from that anguish, they will be returned in it. They will want to come out of it. I mean, even the smallest of things, even if you put a candle and put a fire and you put your finger, you just remove. You want to move out of that situation. You don't want to continue feeling that heat. Imagine what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. Their bellies and their bones will be melting. Of course, they would want to come out. We cannot even imagine the situation over there. I mean, we talk about torture cells in this world. We talk about the where they torture captured people and all of that, and they're shouting and you cannot even bear it for a day or whatever. Imagine what will happen in hell and what the punishment will be. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning it clearly as a warning for us to come on the right path. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from hellfire and its punishment. وَذُوقُوا عَذَابَ الْحَرِيقِ. Therein taste the punishment of the burning fire. Going to hellfire is not an option for us. Moving forward, last two ayahs for today. Inna Allaha yudkhilul lazina amanu wa amilus salihati jannatil tajri min tahtiha al-anharu yuhallawna fiha min asawira min zahabin wa lu'a. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will admit those who believe and do the righteous deeds to gardens flow from underneath the rivers. They will be adorned therein with bracelets of golds and pearls. These days in the world, men are not allowed to wear gold, right? But however, there Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or wear silk even. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will adorn people with bracelets of gold, pearl, silk, dresses and everything. So right after the tough ayahs of hellfire and that punishment that we cannot even imagine to bear, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us a glad tiding as well for those people who believe. They will be in the gardens of Jannah. So we should pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma inni as'alukal jannatul firdaus. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I ask you for jannatul firdaus. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Walibasuhum fiha harir, and their garments therein of silk will be made of silk. Last ayah for today. Wahudu ila tayyibi min al-qawl, and they were guided to the good of speech. They used to say good things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided them good things. They got the right knowledge. When we say Rabbi Zidni Ilma, usually it is pasted across all education institutes and schools, but it's about the good knowledge, the knowledge that helps us get closer to our religion. Wahudu ila siratil hamid, and they were guided to the path of the praiseworthy. We should pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us on the path of the praiseworthy. Okay, excellent. So this marks the end of today's lesson. Quickly, we will go through the actions from today's class. Number one was have taqwa, fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to achieve success on the day of judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the day of judgment as it will be a great day. It will be unprecedented. We would have never seen things that will happen on the day of judgment in our entire lives. Like, for example, a nursing mother will leave her baby, or a pregnant lady, all of the pregnant ladies, their pregnancies will fall, and scenes and sights will be something that we have not seen on the day of Qiyamah and on the day of judgment, and everyone will feel like they're intoxicated and they're out of their senses. So the only thing that can save people is the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the consciousness, the fear and love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, always knowing that are we doing the right things or are we doing the wrong things, and staying on the right path and becoming a better Muslim every day. Shayateen wants us to ignore the guidance and follow our worldly desires only, regardless like of halal or haram. Shaitan just wants us to enjoy life, have fun, fulfill our desires, do whatever is haram, halal, don't no difference. What we have to do, and shaitan are all around us, and we discuss it. They are on the right path, they are on the wrong path. On the wrong path, they just want you to follow without asking forgiveness of Allah SWT. On the right path, they are sitting there and saying and making you arrogant there. So what do we have to do? We have to apply the guidance filter. We have to always assess whatever we do, whomever we meet, whoever we are friends with, whoever is our social circle, whatever we are watching, whatever we are doing, is this getting us closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Islam, or is it getting us away? It's a very important question that you need to continue to ask throughout your life, throughout your every decision. If you're taking a car loan or whatever, or a home loan or a mortgage, or moving, big decisions in life, or even getting married, with the other person get you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What's their orientation? All of these key decisions and small decisions, just to pick up your mobile and click on a video to watch or not to watch, or a picture, or a friend who always sends you dirty content or shameful content, to block him or continue. All of these things, apply the guidance filter. Is something getting you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or is it getting you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Then we saw the next action is look around for signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how He gives life, how life gets in the dead soil, how plants emerge, seeds start to grow, germinate, all of this, the water cycle, the rain cycle, our own life. An example that one of you guys gave Jazakallah khairan on the way we sleep and wake up. This in itself is a process where we are totally unconscious, half dead. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wakes us up. So there is no doubt that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will rise us amongst our graves as well. So He will give us back life. So there's no question of, will we be able to, will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be able to resurrect us, give us life after we are dead in our graves, completely rotten? No, nothing. So from there, yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can. He gives life from, when no one expects, and there are multiple signs all around us. So we have to believe in the day of judgment and start acting now. Never be arrogant. All khair good is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All skills that you will get, all the good positions you will get, the power you will get, the wealth you will get, the money you will get, the positions you will get, everything is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't be arrogant. And be careful, especially when you're doing good deeds, especially when you're helping others. Shaitan can come and make you arrogant. Let me tell others about it. Let me take a selfie. Let me, do this, and protect the ego of the person that you are helping. We also discussed an example on that one as well. So we just went a bit overboard on this lesson. Apologies from my side. This marks the end of today's lesson. Are there any comments, any questions before we close? Okay. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Purity belongs to Allah and all praise be to Him. Purity belongs to you, O Allah, and all praise be to you. I bear witness that there is none worthy of worship besides you. I beg forgiveness from you and I repent before you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers. I will inshallah see you guys next week, same time.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.